Good morning, people. Well, it's morning in the United States. In England, it's in the afternoon. I just want to talk a little bit about the whole Sancho versus Ten Hag situation. I think for the most part, the pundits, when I say pundits, I'm talking about like Mark Goldbridge, Sam from United People's TV. I think that they're pretty much on point when it comes to this. This shouldn't be really a shock. Um, Uh, Ten Hag is somebody that if you ask him a question, he might he might give you one word as a response. But when he was asked about Sancho, he basically said he just didn't select him compared to the other players in that position. That he just based it on that, and you have to meet standards, and he didn't meet those standards, so he was not selected. And then after a gutting loss to Arsenal, a game I think that we still should have got something out of it. I thought, again, my other videos, I said all I want is progress, and I continually see that with this team. We have a member of the team that comes out basically saying what the manager said was a lie. There's my son talking. Um, so it's disappointing, but it's not unusual for Sancho. He did this at Dortmund. He did this for the United or for the English team. Uh, he has this in him. He doesn't want to um, self-reflect. He had this issue where he was missing meetings at Dortmund. He said he had issues with sleep. I don't understand how a person can't get up, but he has this issue. Apparently, said that as he gets older, he's going to, uh, do better. And if you watch, if you go to United People's TV, you can watch that video, and I can link it below. Um, Mark didn't talk about that today, but Sam actually researched it and said that he's had this issue before. But what he did after he basically said the same thing, that he was humiliated and scapegoated, and then he went on this great run where he got 17 goals and 17 assists. Maybe at this point, that's what uh, Ten Hag is trying to do with him. Regardless of the fact that he's one of the highest paid players on the team, he never really shows that he's committed 100%. He's had flashes. Liverpool, he was a really, really, really good. When we were last year, when we lost our first two games, his play was very instrumental to get our ass back online. So there is a good player there. He just the thing is, he is he has an ability, a talent that nobody else has on the team. So you don't want to lose him. I don't really buy the whole thing that because Ten Hag didn't buy this player that he doesn't want him in the game or in the team. He just doesn't want the attitude. And when players can't self-reflect and um, they don't have any accountability for themselves. When there's a history of this is the same thing. And I don't want to go down this road, but I will. This happened with Luke Shaw as well. Um, he he got a coach that held him to a standard, and then things started to come out, and that was Mourinho. Under Ole, he was basically coddled, and one of those years he played really well. After finally 2 or 3 years after that big injury, he started playing a lot better, but his positional awareness was so poor, and Mourinho had to coach him out of it. And he said at the end, he said that everything that Mourinho did for me made me a better player. Now, that could have been PR. He could have been, because back then, and it's still happening today, you have too much players that think that they're more important than the club. And they always will put the club or put the manager under the bus. And this is what we're seeing kind of again. I don't know if it's as pervasive as it was under Mourinho, under Rangnick, Even though under Ole, even though Ole was the friend, those type of players will still put you on the bus, and we still have some of those players in the team. Whether that's McGuire, it's not McTominay. I think every player, every coach would like him. I think that Ten Hag likes McTominay, but it doesn't mean he wouldn't sell him for the right price to get the type of player that he wants. And it's weird because this is what's the most important story in football in England right now is this little feud between a manager and a player in a team that's 10th in the league. Nobody cares that Manchester City is undefeated so far. They're the treble guys. Nobody cares about that. They want to talk about this. This is the most important thing. What if Sancho wanted to say something after the game? He should have said it nice effort. Should have done more. I can't wait to get back to training next week, and I'm going to be ready when we come from the international break, and we're gonna get back up in that table. But he had to. I just don't understand why. Don't believe what you. I mean, you guys can look at the tweet. Don't believe what people read. What do you mean by that? Do you mean what everybody else is saying online, or the fact that your coach said that you weren't the best trainer? You weren't the best player during training, and he made his decisions because he has so many players that can play in those three attacking roles. And there are a lot of people, including myself, that says that Pelletri should be playing more. Anthony, whether he doesn't do as much with the ball in the final third, he still does everything else that Ten Hag wants him to do. He tracks back. That's something that Sancho has an issue with. And I thought Anthony played a really good game yesterday. He's learning. I don't necessarily like that type of a winger, to be honest. That's not really mine. And neither is Sancho. These are guys that don't really have just unbelievable speed. It's not even close to what Højlund has, or even Marcus. But Marcus is still not as fast as people think he is. He was when he first came up, but he's not the same player anymore. He's a bigger player now. He still has some. He's still in the top 10% when it comes to speed, but when he first started, he was like number one. I mean, he was no one could really stop him. I mean, he's like Mbappe type of stuff. So, what's my point here? The guy just can't reflect, and there is enough evidence. Just like with Shaw, Shaw had issues when he was at Southampton. The coaches had issues with him. He thinks his talent is so much that he doesn't have to do the basic stuff to be a better player. And I think it was one of my biggest videos I ever had when I had this disagreement with Mark, because he called people saying that Shaw wasn't fit, that was like body shaming, and these words that came out the last 20 years from that movement. It's pervasive in the West because we have nothing else to do. So we have to say, well, you can't say that about that person. They'll be offended. And you can't say that without that. And you can't really. If a player is playing at the elite level, he shouldn't be carrying weight. And that's what my statement was. This is not 1970 where they used to hold on to the ball and they just walk down the field. The game has changed so much. But Shaw's a good player, and his talent allows him to do that. And then nobody really pressures him out of his position. We never thought that Malacia was going to take over for him. He was a 15 million pound signing. That was never going to be the case. So, and again, I think Shaw has grown up. Now he's been at the club forever. Yes, he's almost 30 now, 28. He's matured. Apparently, I think Sancho hasn't. There was rumors that we were thinking about selling him. I don't. Mark was talking to what's his name, Foster today, and he said, "Yeah, if we try to sell him, we get like 25 or 30 million for him." Then we can't sell him. I mean, he is still a 50 or 60 million pound player. He just has to be on the right team. You can't all of a sudden say we're going to pay half or a third of what we paid for him, and no one's going to take his salary either, and he won't go anywhere unless they get the salary as the same. It's just a bad look for him. I have no issue at all what Ten Hag, when he was asked the question, um, if he could have said that, if like with Scott, he said that he was ill, and I think that Lindelof must have got the same issue as well, but it wasn't as bad. And I guess at the end of the game, yeah, it was probably Chuck was coming up and he couldn't deal with it anymore, and he had to get off the field. Because he said he was ill at the end of the game too. Um, I think ill of the fact that we should have won, or um, I don't know. There's just the players have way too much power, especially in Manchester United. It never did. I mean, there was no way that Ferguson would have allowed this. And now 10 years after Ferguson retired, there are other coaches that would never allow it. They would have sold their player and get him out of there. And we still have players on the team. We have either it's the management or something. The fact that we paid so much money for this guy, and these guys don't want to leave Manchester United, regardless of how how poor we play on the field. As I said before, I think that we've progressed each game, and that's all I want. And I don't want to all to be stopped because of this individual. I didn't notice him. I knew he wasn't going to play. I didn't notice him on the field. I think that the players that he brought in impacted the game. It would have been nice to have Sancho in the game because he kind of hold on the ball with us. But I'm trying to think how he could have done any more than anybody else based on the way he plays. I don't really have an issue because I've been saying, I said it since day one. Well, not day one, but this year, I think if it was just me, I would have Hoyland number 9. I would have Palestri on the right, and I'd have Garnacho on the left. And I would just live with that until the time that, or the other way around, as far as Petri, and just live with that. And we end up 7th or 8th. Then we finish 7th and 8th. And we get rid of Rashford. We get rid of Sancho. We get rid of, we keep Anthony because Anthony can be, he is trainable. And so is Rashford. Rashford made a mistake, showed up late. He got in trouble, came out, took a score. He had a nice goal yesterday. He was a threat. Once he got the goal, he played fairly well. He still has an issue of making the passes when he has no real chance on his own to do anything. He has to make the decision quicker. And he's not a young guy anymore when it comes to soccer anymore. He's been there for a while. He needs to know this. But he's still, at this point, our biggest threat to score. So he's going to be in the game. But for the future, after this year, I think that would be the better way to go. And like I said, if we finish the top 4 or not, I think this, we did sign Marcus to all that money, so maybe he's going to stay. So it might be Marcus, Hoyland, Garnacho, and then Palestri, filling on both sides. I just think this is a better team, and as much as I like Anthony, what he gives, it's hard. We have so many good players that if they just would gel together and can understand that they can't be playing every game, and they can't be upset, and just play for the cup. He said he's gonna do everything for the badge. Really? You think that the fans are gonna be on your side with this? We've been down this road before with players, and he's not Pogba, right? He's not at that level, but we've allowed him to have his, the 3 or 4 months that he had off last year, to try to get his mentality back. like I said, the dude has got flashes. It's some players, whether it's the pressure of playing for Manchester United, having probably the highest salary on the team. Marcus might have that now. Dealing with the fact that this team hasn't won a championship in 10 years. And the fact he really came up to the Manchester City setup, maybe he doesn't have the mentality to do it. I don't think it's a talent thing, but he's not as fast as people think he is. His type of pace would do well in the Bundesliga and Serie A and La Liga. This league, you have a lot of fast, pacey players, and they'll end up catching up with you. It's the same thing that Anthony's having an issue with. He can't go past players, but he has other talent, just like Sancho has. And the thing is, if we can ever get that together, I mean, in 2008, of course, we had like 4 or 5 strikers, really strikers, guys that played close to the goal, and they allowed themselves to be substituted and rotated, and that was, but there's a clear hierarchy. You knew who was the top 2 and who was the 3 and 4. These players, I don't think that they think that they're better than everybody that's in front of them. And when he talks about in his statement that there's other things more than my training, he said I did well in training. No, that's not his decision to make. You can't. It's like, yeah, I'm doing really well at my work, and then your body sits there and watches you, and for an hour and says you're not as good as everybody over there, and you need to do better. Okay, and then you sit there and say, no, I did really, really well. It's not your decision to make, and it's clearly the same thing that Ten Hag was saying. And I'm sure he told him before that. He said, look, you're not yet here. It just seems like there's no reason why I wouldn't have said that. And the fact is, there are other guys that can play the position that you play that they're willing to go through. The thing that Ten Hag wants, he wants progressive, risk-taking, especially from the front, and just continually be progressive. Whereas this is a problem with Anthony, but it's also a problem with Sancho. Sancho will always go back with it. If he feels he's being under threat, he'll throw it back. And that's not what he wants. He wants us to be more progressive. And although I think that you got him and Palestri probably hold the ball the best of everybody in the attacking third, it's what they do with it. And yeah, we can hold on to it, but are you going to now pass it forward, or are you going to go back to Martinez or Varane or Onana, or are you going to actually continually press him? And I don't think he likes that Sancho doesn't do that. And he also gets out of tackles a lot. He doesn't go in and shows that he's there. Whereas Anthony will, Palestri will, Garnacho will. It's not shocking. It's just stupid that he came out and said what he said. But that's fine. It's out there in the open. We'll have this conversation, and it's everywhere in England and all the soccer and football blogs. This is all they can talk about. Yeah. You all want to say you're so much better than us, but you're still talking about us. It's like, whatever. We're gonna just chill out, and then when we have Brighton at home, I think we're gonna be improved as well, and I think we're gonna hurt them badly, and we're gonna go on a nice little run here, and hopefully Sancho will get his systems together, and he'll be part of that. Why not? What's he gonna do? He's not traveling with England, so he's got 2 weeks. He should be training every fucking day. We'll see if I don't know at this point. It could possibly that he's been fined, but if not, he should be in there working and working and working. When nobody else is around, they're all on international duty, but you're at home. You need to be working. Get yourself in there. Claim your position. You don't have it just because you had the highest transfer fee to come in. It doesn't, well, not anymore, but you know what I mean. I'm just talking forever, but let me know what you think in this situation. It's just another drama at Manchester United. It takes focus off what we're doing on the pitch, which is not where it should be, but I see progress. And with Rasmus Højlund, you're going to see something. I really honestly believe that. You're going to see us start just battering people. So also with Onana, he's probably going to go play in the African Cup. It doesn't bother me. The kid that we have that's could deputize for him will be fine. We might not have the same type of the ability that he has, but that kid's big and strong, and I think we'll be fine. There are sometimes we talk too much about the goalkeeper. I think yesterday was a point that it was very important that we had a stop shopper, and he didn't make the save when he should have. So we can talk about it there. But the rest of that game, yeah, he was comfortable on the ball. Yeah. But also our Arsenal allowed us to do that as well. Anyway, I'm just going to stop. It's just Manchester United, man. I don't care. Florida State beat LSU, blew them out in the second half. So I had a 50-50 game yesterday. So, and now everybody's talking about Florida State being one of the best teams in college football. Well, dude, it's one fucking game, and it's only been four games for us. All the teams are in front of us. Most of them will be behind us at the end of the 38 game seasons. We'll be somewhere, right there on the cusp or in the top four. If we allow the system to continue to do it, we're going to score some goals, and you're going to see it. I have 100% faith in it. The players have to have faith in it, and we have to call out idiocy. And unfortunately, Jadon Sancho is an idiot. You guys have a good day. Goodbye.